in the rugged hills of a distant, war-torn land called Zoravia, where ancient mountains whispered secrets of forgotten battles. Captain Elias Thorne stood atop an armored tank turret, his piercing blue eyes scanning the horizon. The year was 2047, and the world had fractured into alliances of power and desperation. Elias, with his chiseled jaw and a scar that traced from his temple to his cheek, a memento from a skirmish in the deserts of Alcara, commanded the 7th Armored Division. He was a man of quiet resolve, haunted by the ghosts of lost comrades, yet driven by an unyielding sense of duty. His name, Elias, evoked images of ancient prophets, wise and steadfast, a fitting choice for a leader who carried the weight of lives on his broad shoulders. Beside him in the command vehicle was Sergeant Amelia Voss, a woman whose beauty lay not just in her emerald eyes and auburn, hair tied back in a practical braid, but in her fierce compassion. Amelia had joined the army to escape a life of quiet suburbia in Vermont, seeking purpose amid the chaos. Her name, meaning work in its Latin roots, suited her perfectly. She was the backbone of the unit, mending wounds both physical and emotional. And then there was Private Jordan Hale, the young recruit with a boyish face and a heart full of idealism. Jordan, evoking the biblical river of renewal, dreamed of heroism that would make his widowed mother back in Texas proud. At just 22, he clutched his rifle like a talisman, his hazel eyes wide with a mix of fear and exhilaration. The mission was clear: destroy the enemy bunkers nestled in the jagged cliffs of Mount Caros. These fortified positions, held by the insurgent forces of the Zoravian Liberation Front, had rained terror on Allied supply lines for months. Intelligence reports painted a grim picture: civilians caught in the crossfire, villages reduced to ash. Elias gathered his team in the dim glow of the pre-dawn briefing tent. "This isn't just about firepower," he said, his voice steady like the hum of the tank's engines. "It's about ending the suffering. We strike hard, we strike true." Amelia nodded, her hand brushing Jordan's shoulder in silent reassurance. The boy swallowed hard, remembering his promise to return home with stories of valor, not scars. As the sun crested the peaks, painting the sky in hues of crimson and gold, the convoy rumbled forward. Elias's tank, dubbed Thunderheart, led the charge, its massive treads churning the earth. The air was thick with dust and anticipation, the scent of diesel mingling with the sharp tang of fear. Amelia manned the communications, her fingers dancing over the console, while Jordan peered through the periscope, his pulse racing. They were a family forged in fire, bound by threads of loyalty that no bunker could shatter. But as they approached the foothills, the first ambush struck. Enemy rockets whistled through the air, exploding in brilliant flares. "Incoming!" Amelia shouted, her voice cutting through the roar. Elias swiveled the turret, his mind a whirlwind of strategy. Jordan fired back, his shots precise despite the tremor in his hands. In that moment, amid the chaos, Elias glimpsed the human cost, the distant silhouettes of villagers fleeing, their cries lost in the din. This war wasn't abstract. It was etched in every face, every shattered dream. The advance was relentless, the tank's cannons booming like thunder gods awakening. Elias's unit pushed deeper into enemy territory, the bunkers looming like malevolent sentinels carved into the rock. Each one was a fortress of concrete and steel, bristling with machine guns and anti-tank missiles. "Flank left, cover the ridge," Elias commanded over the radio, his tone unyielding. Thunderheart's main gun erupted, sending a high-explosive round slamming into the first bunker. Debris rained down, but the enemy fired back with fury, bullets pinging off the armor like angry hornets. Amelia's role became pivotal as the battle intensified. She coordinated airstrikes, her calm voice a beacon in the storm. Eagle 1 target locked at grid Delta 5. Fire for effect, jets screamed overhead, their payloads turning a secondary bunker into an inferno. Yet victory came at a price. A hidden mine detonated beneath a trailing vehicle, flipping it like a toy. Screams echoed through the comms. Jordan, tasked with securing the perimeter, rushed to the wreckage, pulling a wounded comrade free. "Stay with me, buddy," he whispered, his hands slick with blood. The soldier's eyes fluttered, whispering of a family waiting back home, a wife, 2 daughters. Jordan's heart ached. It could have been him. Elias, from his vantage, felt the weight pressing heavier. Memories flooded him, his own brother lost in a similar assault years ago. "We can't stop now," he muttered, aligning the sights on the central bunker, the heart of the enemy's defenses. The shot was perfect, a breach in the wall exposing the insurgents within. But as the tanks closed in, a sniper's bullet grazed Amelia's arm, tearing through her sleeve. She winced but didn't falter. "I'm fine, Captain. Keep pushing." Her resilience inspired Jordan, who charged forward with renewed fire, suppressing enemy positions. In the lulls between barrages, stories emerged. Around a hasty campfire during a brief respite, Amelia shared her past, a childhood marked by loss. Her father's abandonment leaving her to raise her siblings. "War teaches you to hold on," she said softly, bandaging Jordan's minor cuts. The young private opened up about his dreams, becoming a teacher after his tour, shaping minds instead of breaking bodies. Elias listened in silence, his own tale unspoken, a love letter from a fiancé tucked in his pocket, yellowed with time. These moments humanized the machines of war, reminding them that beneath the armor were souls yearning for peace. As night fell, the assault resumed. Thunderheart led a daring night raid, its infrared sights piercing the darkness. Cannons roared, demolishing bunker after bunker. Explosions lit the sky like fireworks of destruction, but each victory echoed with the cries of the fallen. Elias's unit lost 3 that day, their names etched in his mind forever. The enemy too were not faceless. Glimpses of their desperation fueled a reluctant empathy. War's true enemy was the cycle itself, devouring all in its path. Dawn broke over the smoldering ruins, the final bunker crumbling under a barrage from Thunderheart's unrelenting fire. Elias stood amid the debris, the acrid smoke stinging his eyes. The mission was accomplished, the enemy positions obliterated, supply lines secured, but triumph tasted bitter. Jordan, bloodied but unbroken, helped Amelia from the tank. Her wound was deeper than she'd admitted, yet she smiled through the pain. "We did it," she whispered, her hand clasping his. In the aftermath, as medevacs whisked the injured away, Elias reflected on the cost. The bunkers, symbols of oppression, were gone, but so were lives, friends, foes, innocents caught in between. He knelt by a fallen soldier, closing the man's eyes with gentle reverence. "Rest easy," he murmured. Jordan approached, his youthful face aged by the ordeal.
"Captain, was it worth it?"
Elias paused, then placed a hand on the private's shoulder. "Every life saved downstream makes it so. Remember that." Amelia from her stretcher called them over. "Look," she said, pointing to the valley below. Villagers emerged from hiding, waving tentatively, their faces alight with hope. Children laughed for the first time in months, chasing butterflies amid the ruins. It was a poignant reminder. Destruction paved the way for renewal. Elias felt a tear trace his scar, not of sorrow but of profound gratitude. They had destroyed bunkers, but in doing so rebuilt fragments of humanity. Back at base, decorations awaited, medals for bravery, citations for valor. Elias pinned one on Jordan's chest. "You're a hero, son." The young man blushed, thinking of his mother. Amelia, promoted on the spot, hugged them both. "Family," she said simply. As they parted ways, Elias to another front, Amelia to recovery, Jordan to his dreams. Their bond endured, a testament to the power of shared sacrifice.